नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैवं नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोकैर्भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. So today we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 4, Chapter 8, text number 11 to 13. नावत्स नृपतेर्दिश्न्यम् भावन् आरोद्धुम् अर्हति न गृहीतो मया यत्त्वं कुक्सौ अपि नृपात्मजः na not Vatsa, my dear child, Nrupate of the king, Disnyam seat, Bhavan, yourself, Arodhum, to get on, Arhati, deserve, na, not, Grihitaha, taken, Maya, by me, yet, because, Tvam, you, Kuksau, in the womb, Api, although, Nrupa, Atmaja, son of the king. Translation: Queen Suruchi told Dhruva Maharaj, my dear child, you do not deserve to sit on the throne or on the lap of the king. Surely you are also the son of the king, but because you did not take your birth from my womb, you are not qualified to sit on your father's lap. Purport: by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Queen Suruchi very proudly informed Dhruva Maharaj that to be on king's son, that to be the king's son was not the qualification for sitting on the lap or throne of the king. Rather, this privilege was dependent on one's having taken birth from her womb. In other words, she indirectly informed Dhruva Maharaj that although he happened to be born of the king, he was considered an illegitimate son because of his birth from the womb of the other queen. Text number 12. बालोऽसि बतार्नात्मानम् अन्यस्त्रीगर्भसम्भृताम् नूनं वेद भवान् यस्य दुर्लभे अर्थे मनोरथः. Bala, child, Asi, you are, Bata, however, Na, not. Atmanam, my own, Anya, other, Stri, woman, Garbha, womb. Sambritam, born by Noonam, however, Veda, just try to know. Bhavan, yourself, Yasya, of which, Durlabhe, unapproachable, Arte, matter, Mana, Rataha, desirous. Translation: my dear child, you are unaware that you are born not of my womb, but of another woman. Therefore, you should know that your attempt is doomed to failure. You are trying to fulfill a desire which is impossible to fulfill. Purport: the small child Dhruva Maharaj was naturally affectionate towards his father, and he did not know that there was a distinction between his two mothers. This distinction was pointed out by Queen Suruchi, who informed him that since he was a child, he did not understand the distinctions between the two queens. This is another statement of Queen Suruchi's pride. Text number 13. तपसाराध्य पुरुषं तस्यैवनुग्रहेण मे गर्भे त्वं साध्यात्मानं यदीच्छसि नृपासनं tapasa by austerities Aradhya, having satisfied Purusham, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Tasya, by his, Eva, only, Anugrahena, by the mercy of me, my, Garbhe, in the womb, Tvam, you, Sadhya, place, Atmanam, yourself, Yadi, if, Ichasi, you desire, Nripasanam, on the throne of the king. Translation. If you at all desire to rise to the throne of the king, then you have to undergo severe austerities. First of all, you must satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, and then, when you are favored by him because of such worship, you shall have to take your next birth from my womb. Purport. Suruchi was so envious of Dhruva Maharaj that she indirectly asked him to change his body. According to her, first of all, he had to die, then take his next body in her womb, and only then would it be possible for Dhruva Maharaj to ascend the throne of his father. So, three verses today we'll cover. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणीं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् I offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, our deity Shri Shri Nitai Gaurachandra, to seek their blessings, mercy, to speak something meaningful on this wonderful verse and the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj, especially on his determination in devotional service. That that was Dhruva Maharaj's turning point. These three verses mark the beginning of one of the most inspiring narratives in Bhagavatam. The transformation of a hurt of a 5-year-old prince into one of the greatest devotees. Here, the context is we are on fourth canto. The fourth canto background describes the descendants of Manu and the dynasty of King Uttanupada. So, earlier speakers covered, but I'll try to quickly wrap up. The king Uttanupada had two queens who are mentioned here in the purport. Suniti, she is gentle, virtuous, but not the king's favorite queen. Suruchi, on the other end, is totally opposite to the characters of Suniti. Suruchi is king's favorite queen. And Dhruva Maharaj was the son of the first queen, which is Suniti. One day, Dhruva Maharaj saw his stepbrother Uttama sitting on king's lap. Naturally, for a 5-year-old, Dhruva, who also wanted to get his father's affection. In such a context, however, when he attempt to sit on his father's lap, Suruchi saw this and harshly rebuked him, saying, "You cannot sit on king's lap because you are not born from my womb." That's a very harsh statement to anyone, and especially for a 5-year-old kid. If you desire that position, worship the Supreme Lord that you may take a birth from me in your next life. I can't understand how this kind of a statement can be discussed with a 5-year-old, like taking a next birth from her womb, and you cannot get king's affection, not the king's, his own father's affection. You cannot sit or touch on your father's. It's all too much, and this is how her behavior was for the second queen Suruchi. King Uttanupada remained silent. That deeply disturbed and wounded Dhruva Maharaj. Without knowing anything, Dhruva Maharaj returned to his mother Suniti, and he started to say what was happening. And Suniti, on other end, instead of encouraging revenge of criticizing the king, or Suniti gave him spiritual direction. This is the covering that we are going to do from this 11th to 13th verses. So we'll go by verse. The discussion on the verse number 11. Here the main idea is Durva, when he approaches his mother in a crying state, Suniti comforts him with affection. That's the first action that she took. She acknowledges the suffering instead of dismissing it. So lesson here is there are several lessons. Even a great devotees experience pain. So here the great devotee is Dhruva Maharaj, and he is also experiencing pain. The pain is he is been refused not to get his father's affection or not to sit on his father's lap. It may be a simple thing, but it is a huge thing for a 5-year-old kid. And Dhruva Maharaj is a great devotee, and he is also experiencing this pain. And secondly, when Suniti saw this, she comforts him with affection, first thing. And secondly, she acknowledges Dhruva Maharaj's suffering instead of dismissing it. When someone comes with a problem, we cannot discount their problem. We cannot say, this is nothing compared to mine or something. So she acknowledges it. She listens to Dhruva Maharaj thing. And then how is this being taken by the Dhruva Maharaj? Bhakti does not mean that becoming emotionless. The pain is coming to everyone in this material world, even for great devotees. But when we are becoming in Krishna consciousness, or when we are when we are practicing sadhana bhakti, like it's not that we are becoming emotionless. Emotions are a key ingredient in our daily life. We have to be with emotion. We are not acting on the platform of without emotion. The difference between bhaktas and non-bhaktas is in how we respond to suffering. This material design of this material world is based on suffering. We cannot change the design of this world. So how we can do is by practicing bhakti is how we respond to the suffering. That is the key matter. When difficulties come, do they take us away from Krishna or bring us closer to the Krishna? That is the question we have to contemplate. So repeating the question, when sufferings come, which is always coming, it's constant, do they take us away from Krishna or bring us closer to Krishna? So that's what on the 11th verse and the lesson we have to take it. It obviously brings us closer to Krishna. That is the teachings from Srimad Bhagavatam, and how we respond, because we are not in emotionless state, we are in with emotions, and sufferings always are hanging around us, and how we respond to the suffering. On 12th verse, Suniti's instruction is revealed by Srila Prabhupada. Suniti, she tells to Dhruva Maharaj, first, do not envy others. Second, whenever suffering is experienced, you have to understand that it is due to our own previous activities. So, the spiritual master will always quote this verse: do not blame the instrument of your karma. So, the instrument here is the other mother, stepmother, Suruchi, who has given a harsh treatment, not to, you are not qualified to get your father's affection, though you are the son of the king biologically, but since he was not born from her own womb, she dismissed, saying that you are not entitled to get to sit on the throne of the throne, or sit on the lap of your father. So that is a suffering he is experiencing, and the Suniti is saying that whatever suffering that you are experiencing is due to your own previous activity. She does not blame Suruchi. Second, she does not blame on the fate. She teaches responsibly. Three things. In our practical life, if something disturbs, first we try to point what are the various things. So the blame directions goes towards family, in work situation towards employer, and in or towards government, or towards society. There are various avenues that could be pointed. The Bhagavatam's very important fundamental lesson is, first look within. Krishna consciousness is more inwards, not outwards. It's more internal, not external. So the Bhagavatam here teaches, first look within. This is not to deny injustice, but to respond spiritually rather than with hatred actions. When Dhruva Maharaj approached his mother, Suniti, she is pointing out the thing and not blame on Suruchi, who has given a very harsh statement to a 5-year-old, and which is very disappointing even to readers reading this Bhagavatam narration of how this could have impacted a 5-year-old kid. Moving to the third verse, which is verse number 13, Suniti continues to tell Dhruva, only the Supreme Lord can fulfill your desire, because not even a blade of grass moves without the Supreme Lord's sanction. So here, Dhruva Maharaj is aspiring to sit on father's lap. It's a big deal for the 5-year-old kid. That's acknowledged, accepted, and Suniti is giving the direction that only the Supreme Lord can fulfill the desire. And she directs him towards Lord Vishnu. This is extraordinary. Instead of saying, fight back, she says, take the shelter of the Lord. Not everyone gets that kind of guidance. It's a very wonderful point to be noted. Take the shelter of the Lord instead of go and fight back, create enmity towards the person, Suruchi, who has said that. Srila Prabhupada here explains that a real Vaishnava directs others to Krishna rather than encouraging material retaliation. So the material retaliation is spontaneous. Even though it doesn't spontaneously come as an emotion for few devotees, but the surrounding environment around us point us in that direction, or they think that we are dumb, or we are not doing the right things at right time. The right things at right time, they consider the material retaliation, which is not the case. Today government is all distorted or taking in different directions because of material retaliation approach. So the major themes, when we look into the three verses, or mainly into this chapter, here, first, a devotee transforms pain into progress. So Dhruva Maharaj insult, right? So became the cause for his spiritual advancement. If you see the character of Dhruva Maharaj, Maharaj, my spiritual master always says, whenever Dhruva Maharaj, the second thing he points at a transformation from material to spiritual. So that is the transformation. He had the material desire. The material desire is very genuine desire to sit on his father's lap and get the father's affection. And that was a disappointed, smashed, and that disappointment is leading, that pain is leading into progress towards devotional or spiritual advancement. So many great devotees, they begin their journey because of material life disappointments. I'm sure everyone will agree with that there are material disappointments. We cannot point to someone who is without any material disappointments. There may be a different variety, different combination, or a quantitatively difference. There are somehow or other the material life disappointments are around us. Sometimes Krishna removes material comfort from our life to give us something that is more greater. So that is called Krishna's special mercy, and we have read in Bhagavatam and Mahabharata. So the first theme is devotee transforms from pain into progress. The second theme is important of saintly association in our life. Durva first received guidance from Suniti, and Mother Suniti gave instruction, you have to worship the Supreme Lord to get your desire fulfilled. Okay, pointed. And later, Dhruva Maharaj went to forest, he got the association of Narada Muni. Our spiritual progress often begins in someone pointing towards us, some pointing towards Krishna. Our spiritual progress, we need someone to point us. Go to Krishna. We'll talk about that, the pointing. So, importance of a saintly association. Here in this case, he got the saintly association from Narada Muni. And in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, parents as spiritual guides. So, Suniti is an ideal mother. Srila Prabhupada talks more about this. So, Suniti is an ideal mother. She is a parent, and she also acted dual role of a being spiritual guide. She could have increased Durva's anger, which she didn't do. Rather, she increased the faith of Dhruva Maharaj. Prabhupada often emphasized that the greatest gift that a parents can give to children is Krishna consciousness. Raise the children by Krishna consciousness. Even giving them daily Krishna Prasad is going to set a foundation in their Krishna consciousness. The bhakti, the creeper is going to grow in the association of the family practicing Krishna consciousness, sadhana bhakti, chanting. You could have seen many kids, even without the chanting beads, will just put the bag and walk here and there, like imitating their parents, like chanting. That's an inspiration. And giving prasadam, feeding with a nice prasadam every day, is going to cleanse and going to develop the bhakti process. So Srila Prabhupada emphasized the best gift parents can give to children is Krishna consciousness. And what is the outcome of in this is material ambition is purified. Initially, Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj was aspiring for a kingdom greater than his father. And when he got the association of Narada Muni, and when he heard his mother's instruction of worshipping Vishnu, and by the process, he got the association. He happened to see Lord Vishnu face to face. And when Mahavishnu was about to give you are asking for a kingdom greater, he said, sorry, I don't want this. I was searching for a very famous statement. I was searching for a broken piece of glass. but I have found the most valuable jewel. So that was his realization. So material transformation to spiritual transformation immediately happened at the time when he was in association, and the result of the association made him to have a direct vision of Lord Vishnu, and he was totally realized. He didn't aspire like, okay, here is my list of these things that I would like to accomplish. He didn't give the laundry list. He said that, oh, I was looking for a broken piece of glass. Now that I have seen, I have attained a valuable jewel. His motivation evolved from material ambition to pure devotion. So, Dhruva Maharaj is a great example for transforming from material. Yeah, we cannot say that we don't have material aspiration or material desires. Those are part and those are developed. But by getting in Krishna consciousness, this is the purification factor, and the outcome is totally different. Though we don't experience that, at least theoretically we can accept by learning from the great personalities like Guru Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. They were not aspiring for anything material, and their thought process, their outcome, what they achieved through devotional service were way beyond. So the connections from Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So if you take Bhagavad Gita 2.14, here it says happiness and distress comes and goes like seasons. Very famous verse. Matra sparsteshu kaunteya sitoshana sukha dukkata. So the translation, O son of Kunti, non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and the disappearance in due course are like the seasons, like of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception. O son of Bharata, one must learn to tolerate without being disturbed. So this is what exactly happened for Dhruva Maharaj. And Dhruva Maharaj tolerated. He had the opportunity to get the guidance from his mother. He went to forest, he practiced, and he get the association of Narada Muni, and finally he tolerated, and he got a valuable jewel. And secondly, how to the Suniti, when he sees Dhruva Maharaj deeply hurt by Suruchi's harsh words, she does not encourage retaliation. Instead, she teaches him how to rise above the temporary material happiness and distress and take shelter. So this is the practical lesson that we have to take from Dhruva Maharaj's life. How to transcend the material suffering, and how to go beyond or above the temporary material happiness and sin. So this is the difference between how one practicing Krishna consciousness and doing sadhana bhakti handles situations. So we also experience a suffering, and that is inevitable. But if you see a very famous quote by Michelle Obama, she says, like, take a higher road in material language. Here, the spiritual language is you have to rise above the temporary material happiness and distress. So, this is Srimad Bhagavatam connection. And Bhagavad Gita's ultimate instruction 18.6. Sarvadharman parityacha mam ekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papepyo moksha ishyami masuchaha. Krishna gives the assurance, Prabhupada reassures that abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So Dhruva Maharaj took that very seriously, and he abandoned, and he went into the forest for the sake of surrendering, and Krishna fulfilled his desire, and he gave something higher, most valuable than what he was looking, and he also realized that. And another, I'll end with another famous verse, Bhagavatam 1.2.6. The highest dharma is loving devotional service unto Supreme Lord. So Suniti directs Dhruva Maharaj to the path. With the path of what? Savai pumsham paro dharma yado bhakti radokshade ahituki aparahita yayatma suprasiditi. The supreme occupation, dharma for all humanity, is that by which men can attain loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted completely to satisfy the self. So, these are the learnings that we can take inspiration. The practical application is when suffering comes, or when we get humiliated in whatever situation, not to respond to the natural process of taking revenge. Second, self pity. And third, towards move to spiritual growth. Dhruva Maharaj initially desired revenge. His mother redirected him. Eventually, he attained the love of God. So this brings an important point. Is Suniti, Dhruva Maharaj's mother, is considered as Vartaka Paramana Guru. Yes, she is Vartama Prataksha Guru. Vartama Prataksha Guru is, in our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, it says like the person who first shows someone the path of Krishna. In our life, there are some persons who would have shown the path of Krishna. It could be a parent, it could be a friend, it could be devotee, or it could be anyone, even on the road, who would have thrown a piece of a prasadam or a flower to us during Ratha Yatra. We don't know, but anyone who inspires to begin our spiritual life, those persons are called Vartama Pradaksha Guru. They are also considered as the Guru. They are the pointing Guru. Okay, so we have to be here in this case for Dhruva Maharaj, Suniti being Dhruva Maharaj's mother, she first directed him towards Lord Vishnu instead of encouraging revenge. She told him, Supreme Lord is the one who can fulfill the desires. In that sense, she is the Vartama Prataksha Guru and showed him the path. Narada Muni later became his principal Siksha Guru, giving him detailed instruction on mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and the method of worshipping him. So, Sunniti is an excellent example for pointing Guru and followed by Siksha Guru, Narada Muni. So, in our life, we also have somehow or other, we had the opportunity to take the Krishna consciousness, contemplate on the Vartama Pradaksha Guru in your life, who pointed out either through Bhakti Viksha or giving you a book or talking about Krishna, giving us confidence. And we have Siksha Gurus, Diksha Gurus helping us on daily basis. So gratitude is the seed of life. I'm ending with this. I'm sorry I took another 5 more minutes on top of the hour. So gratitude is the seed of life. Meditate on those persons who have helped in pointing you towards Krishna consciousness and helping us to take the beat bag and chant. Hare Krishna. If there are any corrections, anything that I have said incorrectly, or anything that I've inspired, please take few minutes to talk about it and discuss.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept me too.
Very nice class, Prabhu. Valli Mataji was saying the other day, reading through a story from Chandamama book.
Yeah.
And so
I heard that.
those who grow up in India, what that book says, everything you learned in kindergarten, that is true in a way, But even then, now I am here, 70 plus, and I'm listening to your class. And I'm like, oh, everything is perfect. I can listen to your class again. That is
So,
one.
Mataji, everything is
Mhm.
perfect because of Srila
Mhm.
Prabhupada's transformation and he has revealed it.
Yes,
So, that is
yeah,
the thing about it.
yes, but I can listen to it again. I feel that much you have put into this three
Yes.
verses.
Yeah.
And I also remembered what Maharaj focused when discussing this section. That is, he is saying King Uttanapada is remaining silent,
Yes.
even when a 5-year-old child is, his own son. Oh, Maharaj was like, he cannot. I also, I mean, certainly he will feel, for Dhruva, but he kept silent. That
Yeah.
is unthinkable, actually. Mhm. But then these are all like pastimes of the Supreme Lord. These devotees take birth to prove that, devotion in their life. And Dhruva Maharaj's story is so shining. Uh-huh. And later in his the tapasya he undergoes,
Yes.
he holds the breath of the universe, stops the breath
Yeah.
of the universe, and he becomes so heavy that his foot, you know, pierces the Mother Earth like that and all. So this is like the Lord's pastimes, devotees' pastimes, pure
Yeah.
devotees' pastimes enacted. Yeah, like these are going to be the Maitreya Muni's section in Bhagavatam
Yeah.
like
Yes,
that.
Mataji. Totally.
There's a very unfolding these things, in thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very
Thank you
much.
for the
Hare
additional
Krishna.
points that you added, Mataji. Especially Krishna can do anything and everything for his
Everything.
devotees. And
Yes, yes.
devotee, even a simple attempt,
Yeah.
the attempt could be positive towards Krishna, or like we can also get frustrated with Krishna and we
Oh,
chant
yes.
Krishna
Yeah.
and he
Mhm.
doesn't care. He says
Yeah.
like, okay, you are thinking of me. I'm happy for that. He is in that mood. Yesterday,
Yeah.
also
Mm.
during the evening classes,
Mhm.
like it was discussed in detail on Vrindavan mood and
Yeah.
Gauranga Darshan
Mm.
from the
But,
shrine.
yes, amazing class.
So very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah, and
Mataji.
also Suniti's example is great. I mean, she is a neglected wife, probably living in a separate palace of her own,
Mhm.
and but her devotion is matured. That not taking against Surji or anything. This
Yes,
is
yes, yes.
that is amazing. Actually, we have another example of this co-wife. This
Yeah.
thing. I mean, of course, Queen Kaikeyi is, and then there is,
Yeah, yes, in
uh,
Ramayana.
yes, and Devayani
Uh,
story. Devayani story. The
exactly.
moment,
Ramachandra also
uh,
pointed out to Lakshmana, saying
uh,
that do not
mm,
blame the instrument of our karma, right? So
yeah,
he was,
yeah,
when Lakshmana was about to
yeah,
go and towards mantra, like he said,
uh,
she's just an instrument of the.
yes, yes,
Do not
and
blame the instrument.
yes,
Yes.
and also Princess Devayani married Yayati, and
Mm.
she was very proud wife and mother of several children. And then when Sharmishta's son points out, that is my father, she runs to her father's hermitage. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
that is Shukracharya's hermitage, and
Mhm.
Shukracharya curses King Yayati. So all these are the false ego reacting in various ways, my Krishna. Thank you so much. Hare.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare
I know
Krishna.
we are over time, but I just wanted to take a few seconds to just appreciate, the teachings that we are learning. And I was going back to when our kids were small and we were raising them, and exactly like a similar situation came. And it's all about the right parenting.
Yes.
Like one parent will say, no, you need to, you need to kind of retaliate, and you need to do this. And then when we take support of the teachings of Bhagavatam, and kind of guide the kids from that aspect, it makes such a huge difference, in raising the kids. So I was just remembering all that and appreciating how Srila Prabhupada had exposed us to these teachings, and whoever has guided us in this journey. It's just you can't express in words how it makes difference in people's lives. So when you see the kids today versus
For
before,
sure.
you just appreciate what you're learning. So thank you. That was a very 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 thought-provoking class, and kind of teaching us how it's important as parents to guide the kids in the right way. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for the comment. And I was also when I was reading this verse yesterday or preparing, my thoughts went to Ravi and Yash.
Oh.
They set us an example for a solid Krishna consciousness kids when our kids were very young when we came to this congregation in April.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, Mataji.
Yeah,
That's
it's just Krishna's way of directing. I can go on for hours on this, but like you said, Krishna takes care of, things. It's like you just need the right direction, and, you can mold them. Yeah.
thank
Thank
you.
you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hare
And
Krishna.
one correction, I accidentally said gratitude is seed of life. It's not that correct. Gratitude is seed of love. So please contemplate on all your mentors or the person who pointed out to Krishna consciousness and offer a prayer and think about them. Krishna will be happy. Thank you. With this, I will end. And sorry I took additional time. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनन्तकोटिवैष्णववृन्द की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्रीमद्भागवतम की जय थैंक यू
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.